I didn't mean to.
That's for slapping your wife.
G'day everyone, welcome back to Bushwick's Review Hub. Today on Bushwick's Review Hub we're going to be doing a couple of new upcoming movies for 2025. Now they're really exciting, some of them, as well as them are really scary. Now I'm not really into my horror films, or the new ones anyway. I like my old school ones like, you know, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers, that sort of stuff. But after watching a couple of these trailers with these new horror flicks, definitely going to give them a mention. Yeah, just before we jump into these trailers, just like to thank all my old subscribers for liking and subscribing to my videos, as well as the new subscribers. Don't forget, like and subscribe. If you have anything you want to chat about, leave it in the comments. Now, let's get stuck into it. Now, first off my list is a movie called Companion.
Are you breaking up with me?
It's not you. It's me.
And it's written and directed by a fella called Drew Hancock, right? And it comes out on the 31st of January this month, okay? Now, Companion, yeah, right, you look at it and you're like, I'm not too sure about it. Then you watch the trailer and you're like, wow. You got Jack Quaid playing one of the main fellas, as well as Sophie Thatcher playing the other main character. Now, it's a bit hard to explain it, but this fella gets a companion bot, we'll call her a companion bot, and then whilst at a retreat away with his friends, I guess something happens, because obviously he jailbroke his companion bot when you're not really supposed to. And I think a couple of his friends start going missing, some weird murders happen, and then they find out that it happens to be this jailbroken companion bot, and stuff really starts getting astray. And like, wow, like it seems like this horror flick as well has got a bit of comedy slapped in there as well. Like, it just seems weird to me that someone will go out and get a companion bot, we'll call her, and then jailbreak her into doing whatever he wants, and then that jailbroken companion bot ends up taking over. And even in one scene I thought was pretty cool, obviously she gets the phone that's controlling her and increases her intelligence.
Wow, Josh.
That would be really interesting to see what happens. Maybe some, you know, Skynet stuff happens. Now that movie there is called Companion, so definitely if you haven't seen the trailer for it, go check it out. But that one comes out on the 31st of January this month. Alright, up next, even though really no introduction, we got Captain America Brave New World. And that's coming out on the 14th of the 2nd, 2025.
You want me? Come and get me!
Now this film obviously takes place where good old Sam Wilson has taken over the Captain America role, and he is now Captain America and no longer Falcon. Now this will be the 4th installment in the Captain America series, and it'll be the 35th installment in the MCU universe. And apparently it's meant to be a continuation of the miniseries Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now the Captain America Civil War was the final one in the Captain America trilogy, so this is why this is going to be the 4th installment in the Captain America series. Now originally I did really like the Chris Evans character of Captain America, and then when hearing that, you know, Anthony Mackie was taking the role of Captain America, I was like, oh, I don't know how he's going to pull this one off. But even though through the shorts you only get a little bit of, you know, through the trailers you see a little shots of it, it doesn't actually look too bad. Like the introduction of the Red Hulk, obviously that's a big thing that'll pull a lot of us in because we're interested about that one. And as well as you see in the scenes, you see Danny Ramirez, who's actually going to be the new Falcon, and you only get to see like brief glimpses of it, but
Let's go!
I feel it'd be interesting to see that Captain America would have, you know, another friend that could fly around with him, when the original Steve Rogers, you know, couldn't really fly around. He just sort of jumped out of airplanes with his shield and just landed on the ground.
Is he wearing a parachute? No. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, I think a big thing with this Captain America one that brought me into it was, yeah, seeing Harrison Ford turn into the Red Hulk. Like, yeah, really intrigued into seeing how they do that, and seeing Anthony Mackie actually fight a Hulk. Like, that would be pretty intense to see, seeing as I don't know if Anthony Mackie's going to have the same powers as what Captain America did. Like, might get a bit iffy in that one. But in reading like the cast, there's one cool thing I did see is old Liv Tyler's coming back to reprise her role from the 2008 Incredible Hulk. Now, I don't want to keep going on about Captain America too much, otherwise I will. So we'll stop there and we'll jump on to the next one. Now this movie really got me excited when I got to see the trailer for it, and it's called The Monkey, and it's a film adaptation of the 1980 short story by Stephen King, and it comes out on the 21st of February, of course, this year.
When I was a kid, my twin brother and I found something that loved to kill.
Now the film adaptation is also written and directed by Osgood Perkins. Now the sort of storyline for this one goes, the main character, played by Theo James, when he was a kid, him and his twin, obviously again probably played by Theo James, found a toy monkey in the attic that belonged to their father. Now, after some pretty weird and unexplainable deaths, they decided that it might be the monkey that's doing it, and they decided to ditch it. But then, after they ditch it, Yeah, mysteriously it pops back up a couple of years later or a long time later. So then they decide that they have to reconcile to be able to finally destroy this monkey that's obviously destroyed their lives. Now, as I said before, I'm not really into the newer style of the horror films. I like my old school horrors, but this one when I seen it, I was like, oh yeah, this will be alright, because I love my Stephen King horrors, because obviously Christine is up there as one of my favourites. If you haven't seen Christine, go definitely check that bad boy out. Or if you haven't seen the trailer for the monkey, go check that one out. If you have anything to say about it, leave it in the comments. Now let's get cracking on to the next one. Up next, we got one of my old favourites coming back, Jason Statham, and he's in a new one called A Working Man. Now that comes out on the 28th of the 3rd this year as well.
Excuse me, it's not your business. Oh, good, boss.
Now, this one, it really got me when I first saw it. Good old Jason Statham, he's been in it a lot. One of my favourites from back in the day was good old Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, as well as Snatch. Gotta love Snatch, old Brad Pitt.
You said till the job's done.
Now, Working Man is an upcoming American action thriller that was directed by David Ayer and written by David Ayer and Sylvester Stallone. It's good to see old Sylvester still, getting in there and making his movies. I like to see that. Now, of course, it stars Jason Statham, David Harbour, Michael Pena, and Jason Fleming. See, and I find that funny, as well, because old Jason Statham and Jason Fleming have been in a lot of movies together that not a lot of people would think about, including the original Lock, Stock, Two Smoking and Snatch. Now, storyline for this is actually pretty cool. What it is Jason Statham's character is an ex-Royal Marine that, goes to America, tries to start a new life, settles down. His wife unfortunately passes away, and the construction company that he works for, really looks after him, and, even though he's going through a hard time. And then it ends up that the construction company owners, their daughter actually goes missing. And so Jason Statham steps up because they think the cops aren't going to help, and he steps in and goes find her, and next thing you know, a lot of action starts happening. Good old Jason action like normal. Gotta love it. Obviously, as usual, it looks like a good old Jason Statham, just action-packed movie, but you never know. Sometimes they get the storylines right, and it should be a good story by the end of it. And why don't you go check out the trailer and maybe leave some in the comments, we'll have a chat about it. Alrighty, let's move on to the next one. Alright, next up we got a movie that's a little bit close to my heart because it's an Australian movie. Now, it's an Australian crime comedy movie named Spit, and it comes out on the 6th of March.
International fugitive, money launderer, criminal mastermind.
Yeah, now, even though Spit has a weird name and you think it's no, it's because of Dave Spitteroni, the main character's name that's ever played by David Wenham. And you may have seen him in other films like Lord of the Rings, he played Faramir, as well as Van Helsing, he played the Friar, as well as good old 300, he was in that one as well. Gotta love that movie. Now, in this movie, he's an ex-con that's been out of Australia for about 2 decades, and he decides to come home, and he gets detained and sent to a detention centre because of a case of mistaken identity. But in doing so, he makes some mates, teaches some people some Australian mateship, as well as runs into some old enemies and has a lot of trouble along the way.
Got driver's license.
No, that's not me. He's got squinty eyes. I don't have squinty eyes. You're under arrest, John.
Now, even though it might not be everyone's movie, I suggest just go out and check out the trailer and just let me know what you think. Go down and mention in the comments and see what you thought about the movie Spit that's going to come out. I feel it's going to be a real good Australian comedy crime. But you let me know what you think. Now, let's move on to the final one. Alright, last off today, guys, is a new science fiction, dark comedy movie called Mickey 17. Now, that happens to be written, produced, and directed by a fella named Bong Joon-ho.
On Earth, nothing was working out, and I wanted to get the hell out of there.
You're planning to be an expendable?
You read through the paperwork.
Yeah. I should have read through it.
Now, its final release date for the United States and probably the rest of the world is the 7th of March, of course, this year. Now, Mickey 17, at the start, I didn't really get into it till my wife was actually like, oi, you like science fiction? Maybe you should get into this, because it's like a science fiction, dark comedy sort of thing, right? So this movie's main character is Mickey 17, who's played by Robert Pattinson, good old Harry Potter and Twilight. So after looking into it, the storyline actually interests me quite a lot in this one. So Mickey Barnes, who's Robert Pattinson, who he's playing, is on Earth and wants to leave Earth. So he signs up for a human expedition to colonize another planet. And he signs up as an expendable, which pretty much means he's going to be used as an expendable. If he dies, they recreate his body through this sort of cloning machine, and whatever happens, he goes out again. So pretty much he's a lackey for this ship. They'll put him in the worst jobs, put him out in space, put him on uncharted planets, make him like inhale viruses, or go on planets that they don't know if they can breathe on or not. And pretty much this just happens and happens and happens until a possibility of, they call it multiples, when another clone happens to maybe not die and they're still alive together. And then when that happens, they're apparently meant to kill all the clones all together. And I'm guessing after a certain amount of time, Mickey 17, Robert Pattinson's character, just has enough of it and turns on him. And yeah, it gets to the point where I think, yeah, Robert Pattinson's character actually gets to fight against his other character, Mickey 18. And, you know, it's got some pretty good stars in it. You've got like Toni Collette, she's an Australian star. You know, Muriel's Wedding, and you know, a lot of other good American films. But Muriel's Wedding is what I remember in and love her in. As well as you got that Mark Ruffalo fella who played, of course, the new Hulk. Not my favourite Hulk. I'm an Eric Bana man myself. Now, that was the last trailer today, guys, and that was Mickey 17. And I've got to admit, for a science fiction dark comedy, it intrigues me, and I definitely actually might go check that bad boy out. Now, that one comes out on the 7th of the 3rd. Alrighty, guys, coming to the end of the video, a couple of just the upcoming movies for 2025. Now, all my new viewers, don't forget to like, subscribe, add something down in the comments about what new movie you liked out of those 6. Now, all my old subscribers, thank you, I love you all. Don't forget, again, comment, like, subscribe, and what's your favourite movie coming out in 2025, or what movie are you more excited for? Let me know down in the comments. I'll catch you on the next one.